Welcome to Yeshiva Daf Shir, sponsored by Yeshiva Sam Yaakov Shalom Le'Abba Sitzchok. We're holding Metzia Daf Tzadik Vov. We're starting at Tzadik Hey with base towards the bottom. The Gemara says is about 6 lines to the bottom, 7 lines to the bottom. Abaye Solok Avishaya U'Mitas Takoi Kavishaya. Rova Solok Aviyonisa U'Mitas Takoi Kaviyonisa. So we saw in Daf Tzadik Dalet that there's a Machlekes Avishaya and Aviyonisa. When it says two things in the pasuk, does it mean it has to be both? Or it means either or? That's the machlekes. So once Abaye Solok Avishaya U'Mitas Takoi Kavishaya. He explains the psuki like Avishai. If the owner is not with him, he has to pay. Right? Meaning, the fact that he's now with, the owner is not with him, in the beginning, the lace with Tarvayu, meaning that what? That we're talking that he's not with him in the beginning. The Tarvayu means when he borrowed it, and when it died or got broken. So the Torah says, Bava and the Torah speaks about Sheilo and Shur v'Mesa. So does the owner have to be in both? So you're going to look at Mishai. It says time of the Torah is not there in both. Not sure the owner is by one of them, he's Potter. It says if the owner is with him, he's Potter. Time of the East with Tavaris. So again, according to Mishai, you need to be both. It has to be in both. If he's only in one mechayev. So he does the pasuk of the Mishai. The stira of the psukim is, does the owner have to be in both or not? Does it have to be in both or not? According to the Mishai, whenever it says two things, it means both. So the beginning of the pasuk says, if the owner is with him, he's potter. Rashi has to be in both. But then it says, if the owner is not with him, meaning he's not with him in both, he's chayav. If the owner is even one, he's potter. Stiro. The answer is like this. If he was within one shur v'meso, he's chayav. But if he was within a sheila, he's potter. He never has to be both. He has to be in the beginning. That's the contradiction between the psukim. Bava without segvon without lataf. Rava sold kabinus without segvon kabinus. He loves like a kabinus, and he says the psukim kabinus. Tani balav imoy lo yishala. The owner is with him, you don't have to pay. Mashra the Yisra Tavai. Mashra has to be in both. Umashra nami the Yisra b'chada v'leis b'chada patur. Why Rabbi Yonasan learns that when it says two things in the pasuk, it means either or. So the Bailam is with him in either stage, he's patur. It says the owner is now with him, he has to pay. Mashra the Yisra Tavai. Mashra is not with him in both. Mashra nami the Yisra b'chada v'leis b'chada chayav. If he's not with one, he's chayav because it says Balav and Imor, either one of them. So you have a stira. So it says the same answer. You have a contradiction. The psukim is according to Rav Yonasan will be is being by one is enough or not being by one is enough to be chayav. And your answer depends which one. Sheil, if he's by this sheil, he's chayav. If he's with him a sheil is patur, he's with him in shur v'meisa is chayav. So who said? So Mr. makes sense. Sheila is when it comes into his rishus. So that's when it makes sense. Yeah, but what makes him chayav? The fact that it broke. So the more yeah, but if he didn't borrow it, you would never be chayav on shur meso. If you have shur meso, sheila ma'avit. But okay, but if he didn't break, he's not chayav anything. So it's very simple. When you shayl the animal, you have to feed it. So that's when your obligation starts. Even though you're not chayav on shur v'meisa until it breaks or dies, but your obligation begins. So you not only that it starts the process, you already have some obligation. So you're already in the process. Rashi Rashi says in the pasuk, "V'chiyishal ish me'im re'eyu." So when a person borrows from his friend, but now from his friend, without his friend, then he has to pay. The friend was with him, patur, and he's patur. So it's a diuk in the pasuk. He takes it from his friend without the friend with him. So that's why I need to say balavim later. Just learn from this pasuk. If I would say That's for sure. That's regular words of the pasuk. If you borrow from your friend, this means regular words. But now that I tell you, the pasuk tells you balavim ain't balavim. You have the pasuk that tells you have your owner with you, not with you. So now I know when the owner is with you, you're patur. Now the question is which one? Owner now with you in the beginning or in the end. You go back to the beginning. It says chishal bein reyu v'lo reyu b'zman she'elo. So the diuk is a good diuk only once I know the counts of the balavim. Something more. Shalo lerovo mal. Now there's going to be many questions regarding she'elo. Sveikas. When a person borrows an animal, lerovo, interestingly, more brings that as an example. He's taking the animal to have a relationship with the animal. To do reveal. No? Kedeshaylein shebein. You have to do normal borrowing. That's not normal borrowing. People don't borrow for that. No, the shayla means he's enjoying it. He said no. He has a no. That's one question. Another question. Shala lirois bo. He borrows it to look like an important rich person. Like a guy who borrows a car, a fancy car, wants people to think he's rich. He's paying for it. He's getting a bomb. He's getting something with it. Like he needs to enjoy. He's not really enjoying it. He's just having it to show people that he's rich, but he's not really benefiting from the actual moment. He borrowed it in order to work it less than a pruto. You have to enjoy the benefit of a month, which is at least a pruto. You have to take the animal, you have it. Or you might say didn't enjoy a pruto. But now, if you want to tell me you need to have a pruto, he took two cows to do it in only one pruto together. Let's go be to the people. And you have your pruto, you got a benefit of a pruto. Or at the end of the day, you look at the cows, each cow has less than a pruto. He borrowed from partners, and one of the partners comes with it. Like you need to have all the owners, you have only one. Or at least you'll be potter, half. What happens if Shutim borrowed? And the owner came to one of the partners. Like you need to have all the borrowers enjoying the owner. Or at least the half that the person borrowed, his half, he'll be potter. Right? He borrowed from the woman, and the husband came with her. Or Isha Shal, the wife borrowed, and the owner comes to work to help the husband. In other words, is the husband and wife considered to be one or not? Now, do we say do you say that the husband is considered to be the owner because of the land of the Isha, because he has the right to the fruits? Are you like? Another question. See, someone tells the shliach, you know what, you can do me a favor. I want to go work with this cow and help him. I don't want to go myself. I'm going to send you. You have to have the owner himself. He's a shliach. He's good enough. Let me answer two of the last questions. Husband, it's a machlekes, and he's considered to be the owner or not. Shliach pluk d'avir Shai. What's a machlekes? We learned this already. We learned it a few places. When Gittin, that a person who sells his friend sadeh only for fruits, maybe Bikurim holds that he is considered to be an owner and he can bring Bikurim to base English. Shlok Shalom maybe he has to bring the fruits, but he's not the owner. If you own the fruits, as if you own the land. If you own the parents, you're not owning the land. So that's answering, is the husband considered to be the owner or not? Depends on the case. So if, according to both cases, if he borrowed from an Isha, and Isha was, the way it says, he borrowed from the Isha before she got married. And then the husband came, the husband is considered to be the owner and he's considered to be with him or not. Depends on the machlekes. Or if the woman borrowed and the person goes to work for the husband. Same discussion. Shliach, plug the ears of every shay. According to Shliach, it's a machlekes of ears of every shay. The Tanya. Someone tells he hired someone, tells him, all the nidorim that my wife will do from here until a certain time, until I come back, haferlo. You could do a afaro. Fairlo, you did a afaro. You chol you mufar could be a mefer. It says the husband could do afaro, not the shliach. Rabbi Yisrael Omer matzimnu b'chol makar v'shul shalom kamoisoi. He says no, he's shul shalom kamoisoi, and the shliach could do it for him. See how the machlek is over there, machlek is over here as well. Can the shliach come with him? Toys asks, what's the right from the dorim to here? The dorim is Yisurim. Yeah, I'm talking about mominus. It could be a right. So he says, we want to tell me the argument in general of shliach shul shalom kamoisoi. So says that the reason Rishai, because it says over there isho twice. And here it says also Bailav twice. So it's the same drush of the pasuk Shai has there, he has also here. Says the Gemara, only have Ilish the Rov. He tells his slave, you go and work with a paro. Is that good enough? This will depend, according to the Mandam, the are you going shliach, you can still have a question regarding Evet. What's the question? So he can be instead of the owner. He's not able to do mitzvahs. He's not having mitzvahs. Maybe he can't do it. He's not considered to be a full shliach. Or Rashi learns because it says I think they have to be chayav mitzvahs. Or even when you say a regular shliach does not work, that's only a shliach because it's not me. Maybe Eved is even better considered to be mamish like the owner. So makes sense that Eved is an extension of the owner, and it's considered to be as if the owner is here right now in the show's potter. So the boy of Chamo, right? Boy Rabbi Chamo. Ask Rabbi Chamo. Baal a husband in the nechosim of his wife. And that's the woman base. Shoy lavo or soich lavo. Is he a borrower or is he a renter? My Camino. Rashi says, meaning he is working on the wife's animals. Is he a borrower or is he a renter? If he's a borrower and the wife is with him, he's potter. That's what the more understands. The renter, maybe not. So the one Ravo, the fum churpo shabashto. Because he's so choriv, because he's so sharp, he's asking all kinds of questions, he's making mistakes. The Mepharshim would say, the sharper a person is, the more he relies on his own understanding. And that's what makes him make a mistake. What's the question? What's that community? We learned earlier. Every shayl is part when the owner is with him, and a soich is part when the owner is with him. So the ogor mino paro, the hadar nazmo. That was like this. He rented a cow from her, and then he married, Then he married her. My shoyl lava or soich. Is it shoyl or soich? Shoyl lava v'asi shayla b'baylim. Of course, chilu shloy b'baylim. Now that he married her, he becomes a shayl. So now he became a shayl with her together because she's his wife. So even though the schirus was done when they're not married, he rented from her 2 months ago. She wasn't married. The schirus started without the owner. But now that he married her, it converted to be shayl, and the shayl started with the owner. Ideal was soicher, but he's still a soicher. The schirus did not change. So you keep the schirus at the beginning when she was without the owner. He doesn't have the p'tur ba'al avimo because he didn't start with the owner. Says the more 1 second. Why should the shayl because the shayl that's a shayl buying mafkas schirus shloy ba'al? Why are you telling me that when he's a shayl, it's he has a p'tur? Because the shayl stops the schirus. He's soicher that now they have it takes the schirus ba'al and takes the schirus shloy ba'al. So also schirus, say the new schirus, he was a renter 2 months before the marriage without an owner. But now that he married her, he starts the new schirus with the owner. So why should it be different? The fact that it's a Shem Soicher that says the same Shem doesn't change? So what doesn't agree with the question? The question of Rabbi is, she rented a cow. The older Nazbo, and then he married her. So what happened over here? So here's the lumdus. We learned earlier in the Masechta that a renter who lends, right? Someone rented a cow and he let someone else use it. So we learned the Mechloikis. Let's say the animal died. Is a Seicher Chayav on the animal died? No, it's not. The Shoyel is Chayav. So Rabbanan said that the Shoyel will have to pay the Seicher. Right? Reuben owns a cow. Shimon goes and rents it from her. Shimon lends it to Levi. Now the cow dies. Shimon is not Chayav to Reuben because he's not Chayav in death. It's heinous. But Levi is Chayav to Shimon. So Shimon will get money from Levi according to Rabbanan. More Rabbanan Maklekes. Halaman Dama says, how do you make a business on the cow that doesn't belong to you? Rabbanan says he has to. Now here you want to say this. The wife rented a cow. The husband is a borrower. So he's borrowing the cow that the wife rented. And therefore what? According to Rabbanan it says that the borrower pays to the renter. So according to that, there's no question. Of course, the husband doesn't have to pay, even though he's a borrower, because he's a borrower of a So he doesn't have to pay, she doesn't have to pay, nobody has to pay. But according to Rabbi Yossi, that says that the borrower needs to pay to the owner, Levi needs to pay Reuven. So here Levi is the husband. Shimon is the wife. Reuven is the original owner. The original owner is not together with Levi, with the husband. Only Shimon is together with Levi. But Levi has to pay Reuven. So do you say that Levi, being the husband, does he have to pay Reuven or not? No. Shoyel is a borrower, and then he has to pay Reuven, because it's not Shil Govaina. Or Soikav is a renter, and he doesn't have to pay. He's not a borrower, he's not a renter, he's a buyer. It's good to be a buyer. And Rashi says that he's potter. He's not responsible to the owner at all. He's considered to be buying from the Isha, has no shaykh, he's not considered to be a shomer. How do we know that? The established Nusho, we saw them many times in the past. If the woman sold Nichse Milub when the husband was alive, the husband comes and takes the Lukos. Why is he taking it? He's not an owner. He's considered to be an owner. Why is he an owner? He's considered to be the buyer from the Isha. So that was the answer to this question. Another question. Right? We have here, the husband marries the wife, and she has money of Hektish. And now he gets the right for it. So he's taking it out of Hektish. So it's a Milo. Omarovo, man limo, who should do Milo? Limo bal, he doesn't want to buy this. He doesn't want to acquire from the Isha something which is awesome. Tibu E, maybe she should be a Moya. She doesn't want to give him anything. It's a takana that she has to give. So she's not interested in giving it to him. Mimalu Bezdin. Kiavdu Rabbanat, maybe we'll say Bezdin or Moya. Kiavdu Rabbanat Takata Vamu Bal Kerchave Leteo. Leisua Rabbanat Takata. Bezdin are now responsible. Rashi said, which Bezdin? Bezdin of that generation. They're responsible for all the takanas. Rabbanat did not say for his only for Hektish. So what's the question? Money of Hektish will not transfer from the Isha to the husband. If the husband uses this, then he's chayav. Until before the fact that the husband married the wife, there's no meilo. But once he marries her and he starts using it, then there's a problem. Okay, says the Gemara now. He was working with the animal, and the meat, the flesh of the animal, got ruined. So this Rabbanan in Rabbi Avayo, now you want to tell me if it died, you chayav. If it kichesh, you're not sure. Name alav luku b'chilos she'ilto. That doesn't make sense. I borrowed an animal to leave it in the pen. I borrowed the user. So what do you want from me? Not only if the flesh got ruined, here's the site. If he's working with her and he died, he's potter. I did not borrow an animal to leave her in the pen. I borrowed an animal in order to use her, and therefore I'm potter because mesa machas melocha. The Rishonim bring a few reasons over here why is Meis Machmas Malacha Potter. That either pshat is that, like the Losh of the Gemara, that's part of the usage of the animal. Right? I'm using it, I'm supposed to use it. What do you want me to do? Right? So let's put it this way. The Ramban asks a question. Ramban says, I don't understand. If I take an animal, she dies normally. I have to pay. I work with her and she dies, I don't have to pay. Well, what's the sort of b'chal? Why should I differentiate? So says the Ramban, because it's the pshia of the owner. If it died naturally, nobody's pshia. Malach was king. But if it died because of work, why did you give me an animal who can't work? So it's a pshia of the mash. Right? That's what it is. Now, the Rashba says, because the mashu was moichel. He knew that it could die from that malacha. So the mashu was moichel. And there's other chodim that say that that's part of the deal. The deal is, if I'm taking it for a certain purpose, that certain purpose needs to work. So there's many reasons to it, but the Gemara tells us here the Yesod shows always chayof, except for two cases. Baal avimoy, number one. Number two, Mesa Machmas Melocho died because of work. We said, we'll stop over here. Have a wonderful day.